As you remember, we started talking about making our own medicine. And there's actually a beautiful parable by the Kuzari. It's not, not, I don't think it's in tonight's meeting, but maybe. Basically, the Kuzari said that the other religions found the way of their acting and their worship through experiment. And so he likens it to somebody who is a pharmacist and he's ill, and somebody else comes in to the store. I guess in those days they didn't have locks in the way that we have today. And somebody comes into the pharmacy, and everybody in line are asking for medicine for different treatments, for different ailments. And so he starts handing out all kinds of things, and then when one of them works miraculously, or even Rabbi Hertzfeld wrote coincidentally with quotation marks because there is no coincidence, then everybody wants that medicine because they're sure that that's the right thing. But today we'll talk about making our own medicine and our own drugs and how that affects the halacha for Shabbat. Um, so, the sages further enacted that one who is bothered by an ailment or mild illness may not obtain medical treatment on Shabbat at all. That is, he may not ingest medicine, apply a medicinal ointment, or take any actions designed for the purpose of healing. Of course, what we call in Hebrew trufot tzavta, old woman's treatments, like a hot cup of tea or anything like that, as long as they're not transgressing the Shabbat. All of those things work just because they're, good advice. Lying down, putting a wet cloth over somebody's head, face when they have fever, and all kinds of stuff like that. That is allowed. But we're talking about actions that are designed for the purpose of healing, which are not allowed. The concern is that one who is preoccupied with alleviating the ailment will pulverize herbal ingredients to prepare a medication or a tonic or some kind of drops, and thereby violate the Torah prohibition of TOCHEN, of grinding. Thus, the sages forbade someone with an eye ailment to drip wine or another medication to their eye, and that's quoted in the Shulchan Aruch chapter 328. Similarly, one may not apply ointment to a wound to heal it. If one has a sore throat, he may not gargle with oil for the therapeutic purposes. One who has a toothache may not rinse his teeth and gums with vinegar, salt water, or alcohol for therapeutic purposes. However, he may drink an alcoholic beverage in order to relieve the pain, on condition that he does not retain the liquid in his mouth longer than usual, meaning gurgling it or using it as a rinse and then spitting it out. So even what I said before about tulfot that doesn't apply because we're not supposed to even pretend to do something that will help the illness or the pain. And I'm not sure if you watched Lawrence of Arabia, but he says to the person accompanying him, I forget what his name was, pass me that bottle of whiskey, and he says, for what? He says half of it will be for making the wound not become infected, and the other half for drinking because of this pain. If the ailment causes pain, one may ask a non-Jew to drip wine to their eye or apply alcohol to their painful tooth. This reduces the prohibition to the level of shvut of a double leniency, which the sages permitted if one is in pain, because, like we said before, they're not allowed to make the medication themselves, but if it's a non-Jew, then we are allowed to tell a non-Jew to do it for that, because the enactment or the takana or the gezerah of maybe you'll get to tochen is rabbinical and not biblical. Enactment prohibiting taking medicine also includes eating or drinking items that only sick people eat or drink. However, a sick person may eat or drink items that healthy people eat or drink as well, like we said about tea, even if their intention is to use these items as medicine. Therefore, one who has a sore throat may not suck on throat lozenges, but they may suck on ordinary hard candies. Similarly, one may not drink water with flaxseed to ease constipation, but prune juice is permitted as healthy people sometimes drink it as well. If it was only people who constipated, the people who produce it would have never made so many. One who experiences discomfort may do things that healthy people normally do, even if their intention is to relieve the discomfort. For example, one who has an itchy skin may apply oil that healthy people apply as well. And if you remember, we learned in the Halacha of Yom Kippur that's not allowed on Yom Kippur, but on Shabbat it is allowed, again, because this is only a Gzerah. One may also apply oil to one's hands and lips, since nowadays people do so even when their skin is not chapped, to soften them or for pleasure. So you're not allowed to use lipstick, but you're allowed to use a chapstick, if I'm correct in the term, on Shabbat, just not, again, not on Yom Kippur. If one has medicine that helps relieve their minor aches and pains, they may mix it with a drink before Shabbat, as no one can tell that it contains medicine. They may then drink the medicinal liquid on Shabbat, so like cough medicine or stuff like that. If you want to put it into juice before Shabbat, especially if it has vitamin C in it, that is allowed, and just not directly the cup of the cough medicine, because that is not allowed on Shabbat for somebody who's only mildly sick. Again, to remind us that that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about somebody who is cholesh yesh bo sakana, somebody who is deathly ill. We're talking about somebody who is only mildly sick people. And tomorrow we'll continue with modern medications, and we'll stop here and open up for questions.